Up, good lifers? Steve Welty here. Good to be with you and excited for this show. Talking today about philosophies and cultural philosophies and why that matters and why it's important that we get clear on what we believe. Starting at the core of any company with, what is our mission? What do we believe as a team to be true? I feel is so important because how can you hire people that are going to share your mission if you don't know what your mission is? How are you going to hire people that share your beliefs if you don't know what your beliefs are? And I'm speaking to myself too, because I've only recently really started to dive more deeply into this because I feel it's the bedrock that all, great companies are built on. They're built on a mission that transcends their industry, usually. Like it could go into any other industry. And they are very clear on what they believe. Like Ray Dalio had his book Principles. The clients we attract are the people that believe what we believe. And that way they can self-vet. And I love how Simon Sinek says in his book, Start With Why, at the end, he talks about a client asking, well, why are you the best option? And he basically says, we may not be the best option. It just depends. If you believe what we believe, then we are the best option for you. You know what I mean? So to inspire people to stay in the game in real estate and to inspire a team to show up every day and give their all, I really feel like people need to be coalesced around a common purpose, a common cause, and also be very clear on what they believe, who they are as people, and, where the battle lines are drawn and what kind of game we're playing. So what I did, and I encourage everyone else listening to try, is I posed this to my team. I said, hey, I want to get our philosophies down. Now we have core values. We have be reliable, be positive, and be a go-giver. Those are our core values at Good Life. But there are other things that maybe are offshoots of that, or that don't quite, fit into those core values that we believe that are important. And so I asked them, I said, here's an example. So one of ours that I gave an example is how you do anything is how you do everything. I'm a big believer in this, and that details matter. And that I think they talk about it in the E-Myth. Like if you're like business is just a reflection of who we are as people. So if your desk is all messy, it means you're messy inside. If you go into the bathroom at work and it's kind of like there's towels on the ground and you just leave it there, then that's what's acceptable in your life. Then you don't have extreme ownership. So that was something I learned from from the MF CEO project, Andy Frisella, where he talked about at his office, if there's trash on the ground or there's pee on the ground or something, he as the CEO goes and wipes it up. And I remember I told my team this story, and Natalia, one of my property managers, the look on her face was like absolute disgust. It was so classic. But I do. I mean, I don't do that in like public restrooms, like at a freaking Starbucks or something. But at my office, if there's a mess, I clean it up because I have extreme ownership, which is another one of our philosophies. But I really believe that how you send an email matters. How you do anything is how you do everything. So I posed that to the team, and then everyone, I said, hey, we're going to have a meeting next week. I'd like you to come with ideas of what you think we believe at Good Life here and what's like core to our culture here. So everyone came up with the list of things, and it was really cool to go over them together at the morning huddle. And we brainstormed, we narrowed it down. We had about maybe 20 or 25. And then anything important like this that I think is important that people internalize, I think we sometimes do a disservice if they're too long. So I then took the 20 or 25 and whittled them down to 7. And so the first one is life improved. That is really our why. It's to improve the lives of our clients, our team members, our vendors. It's to inspire people to take action on what lights them up. My dad always taught me that the best is yet to come. It's that Sinatra line. Um, the best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? He used to always tell me that. And I always believed that. I always believed the best was yet to come and that life was going to always get better. And so I took action to always be learning things that interest me and try to inspire people that with my philosophy that life always gets better. So that boils down to so many things, but for instance, us as a team continually growing, learning from mistakes, always getting better, 1% better every day. I talk about with the team, not passing over a system that has an inaccuracy, going ahead and updating it there on the spot, just making a 1% improvement every day. And just really believing that life can always get better and life should always get better. And one of the best ways we can do that is help other people's lives get better. And those are the people that we serve. So like, how can we really serve people and add value and expect nothing in return? Recently, we've made some decisions to stop taking certain types of clients, stop taking certain types of properties, different, decisions on how we operate the business. And the reason is because we've realized that certain types of properties, for instance, or certain types of owners, we more often than not have a bad experience. And our purpose at Good Life is to improve people's lives. So making money or adding doors or any of that stuff is all behind improving lives. And if you think about that for a second and don't just gloss over that, I get really excited by that. The purpose of our company is to make people's lives better. You know what I mean? And if we actually do that, if we serve people better than anyone else is serving people, the money will come. So it was actually really freeing because I think, for instance, like I'll give you one example. When there's already a tenant in place, like a house that has a tenant, usually they're coming from a prior manager, or they like either the manager fired them or they fired their manager. So in those cases, we looked at it and, we're going to test this. We may not, keep it long term, but we said, we're going to stop taking those because it always leads to upset owners who are already upset with their current manager or were fired by their current manager. And so they're a tough owner to work with already. And, at a too high of a ratio, we were disappointing clients and it wasn't working out. Because there was already a tenant in there. We didn't place the tenant. The property hadn't been inspected. So there was all these messes of property issues that we, had to try to pick up the pieces. And so rather than screw it up, we want to live true to our purpose and respectfully decline those properties, send them to refer them to someone else that can definitely help them. Because improving lives is the most important thing, not adding that door. So number 2 is how can we help people the most? So that's our North Star. And it kind of could be just tucked into number 1. But when we're making decisions on content, Olivia's had to check me, my content manager, a couple times. I'm like, okay, well, how many is this converting? What's the conversion rate? She's like, well, are we in business to convert, these leads into customers, or are we in business to help people? And I'm like, touche. We're in business to help people. We're in business to improve lives. We have to be smart about economic decisions or else we'll go out of business and we can't help people. So we have to keep our eyes on things, but it's actually really freeing and liberating to come from a place of full service and not be gripping about sales funnels and conversion ratios and, that blog didn't perform. Let's stop writing that content. Well, that blog topic really helped people. For instance, right now we're doing an accessory dwelling unit series that it's going to help people get more informed whether they can put another unit on their house. Because in California right now, there's a housing crunch and they're freeing up some of the zoning requirements to do an additional unit. And so, that could add another door to our portfolio, but it's probably not going to be the biggest growth thing for us. But if we can go out of our way and help people to understand something and inspire people to take action, which is like really our why, and my personal why is I love inspiring people to do what lights them up. So if they didn't know about that and we can help them with that, that's going to be a big win. Number 3, and these are 7 things that we've come up with so far that I feel have been core to our success at Good Life. Number 3 is unique ability teamwork. So unique ability we talk about a lot on the show, which is there's a small subset of things that each of us does really well that we do better than almost anyone else, that we should be identifying what it is and spending as much of our time in there as possible, because it's not even work when we're in our genius zone, like Jason says, Jason Goldberg, my coach. So that's really powerful when you figure that out yourself and you as the owner are spending your time just in your unique ability. But when you 10x it is when that trickles down to your team, when your team actually understands what their unique ability is, and that, yeah, they shouldn't be doing work they hate. At our quarterly reviews, we ask them, like, what's your least favorite thing you're doing right now? And we try to work them out of that, because we want people doing jobs that are fascinating and motivating to them, because there they can add the most value. They're the happiest, and it rolls back up into our number 1 of life improved, making sure our employees and our team members' lives are continually improving. Number 4, and I mentioned it briefly already, is extreme ownership. One of the best leadership books I've read in a while. And it has a lot of different great tips in that book, but essentially it's, the buck stops here. I am 100% responsible for the outcome of my company, and each person on the team taking 100% responsibility. There was recently a pretty expensive mess up by one of the team members, and I know that this person was freaked out because they're kind of like a perfectionist already. And so we went to talk about it, and I listened. I just said, so tell me what happened. And the person told me what happened and accepted responsibility for it, gave a justification, like kind of how it happened, but said ultimately, I just need to fix that and that can't happen again. And I said, that's great. I'm so glad to hear that from you, because if I was going to hear a bunch of excuses from you and you not taking ownership, that was going to be a major problem for me. But you just passed a really good leadership test. You took extreme ownership of the situation. And man, if you take extreme ownership of your whole life and not complain about things, realize that things are happening for a reason, that, you may have screwed this up, but moving forward, you're going to fix it. It's just such a powerful leadership tool. And it trickles down to your team when you have as the owner, have extreme ownership. And, I really believe that you really can't lead people. All you can do is be a better self-leader, and people will notice that and take action to be like you. So extreme ownership, number 4. Number 5, focus time. This is something we teach to everyone on the team when they are hired, and we continually pound in their head that I really feel if someone said, hey, what's the biggest hack to success? I would say quiet focus time, a certain amount every day on your highest value activity. It's really as simple as that. But it's funny when I tell people that, I feel like it's so obvious, but people are like, whoa, that's a really good idea. It doesn't seem, it's not as obvious, maybe when you're first starting out. So a big part of our success is that everyone on the team works on the business. And so this is called high value task time, or the one thing. And so once people pass their 90-day probationary period when they're hired, we encourage them to start dabbling with this more. And to start small, say, okay, maybe twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to do 30 minutes of focus time where I'm going to focus on my highest value task that's working on the business, not in the business. And so we ask them to track that. And it's really powerful because it's super hard to do at first, but the more that you do it and the more your team can do it, obviously, number 1, your company's going to become more valuable. But number 2, they're going to get so much confidence. I remember the confidence I got when I became a master of my time. And the funny thing about time is that time comes from us. I create time. I am where time comes from. So like time isn't even a real thing. It's just whatever you allocate. People say I don't have the time. It's usually not a priority is the correct response, but that wouldn't always go over well telling people they're not a priority. But you become an owner of your time. You realize that you can create the time for the things that are important, and your life will skyrocket by committing to a small amount of focus time every day, and then ultimately working up to what I would love to see everyone on the team doing is like 60 to 90 minutes a day of focus time every day. You do that, your life will take off like you would not even imagine. So I preach that at Good Life. Then we talked about how you do anything is how you do everything. And then 7 is entrepreneurial team. So if I am command and control, like old corporate style, all right, I'm at the top, you do this, person B do this, etc., we're not going to achieve anywhere close to the results we're trying to achieve. So an entrepreneurial team gives everyone the mindset that, hey, you run a little business inside of our business. So like, let's say you're a leasing manager, you run the leasing department, and this is a little business, and you have an expense, you have expenses, you have revenue, and teaching them about, we do open book at Good Life where we review all the company books each month as a team, because it's really hard to coach people how to win the game if they don't even know the score of the game or how the game is even kept score. So that's one aspect of it. Second is that we're a results-based company. So they could do work at home. They could come in half the day if that was necessary. Certain positions need to be on the phones and whatnot. So there's certain rules, but if you show your worth and you show how much value you're adding to the company, we do not micromanage. We only look at results. So if you're getting great results, there is a place for you here at Good Life. And at Strategic Coach, I'll try to put a link in the show notes, but there's something called the Team Success Series. And it is a fantastic kind of not a webinar, it's like pre-recorded, but it's a series that your team can watch. I think it's, maybe 8 or 9 videos. So you can watch it over the course of maybe 1 or 2 months. And it helps them get in the mindset of what it means to be an entrepreneurial team, always looking out for cheaper, better, faster ways to do things, having a results mindset, understanding that you can go anywhere in this company if you have there's no ceiling to what you can achieve here. You know what I mean? As far as pay or anything. So I highly recommend that if that's interesting to you, and I'll drop that in the show notes. But that's the philosophies, the 7 philosophies that I've identified so far that have really contributed to our success. And I hope this conversation around getting clear on your purpose, your mission, your beliefs is valuable to you, and that it's going to be the way that you have greater clarity for decision making and on hiring and surrounding yourself with the best team possible. So if you've enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you would please share this episode with a friend who may get value from it. And then also please click subscribe to the podcast. It would really mean a lot to me. I appreciate everyone listening out there, and I hope you just smash it today. And don't forget, life is good. Peace.